Do you ever feel overwhelmed by anxiety? Caught in a loop of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios? The Stoics faced war, exile, betrayal, even death. But they didn't flinch. They prepared for every loss, every failure, every blow of fate. They called it Premeditatio Malorum, and it might be the most powerful mental practice you've never tried. Before we go any further, let's ask the obvious question. What exactly is anxiety? Because if we're going to face it, we need to understand it. Anxiety is the anticipation of future pain, imagined, exaggerated, and repeated. It is not the event itself. It is your mind rehearsing suffering that has not yet occurred. That distinction is crucial. Then what does it look like in real time? Anxiety is your mind trying to protect you from the unknown, from pain, from failure. It plays out future disasters in endless loops. But instead of helping, it paralyzes you. Modern advice tells you to think positive, to stay calm. But Stoicism teaches something much deeper. Face the fear, prepare for the worst, strengthen your soul. This video will guide you through a practical, ancient technique used by the greatest Stoic minds, one that turns anxiety into clarity, fear into focus. Premeditatio Malorum means the premeditation of evils. It is the deliberate act of visualizing the worst possible outcomes in your life before they happen, not as a form of pessimism, but as a form of preparation, of inner training. I was ruling Rome, and still I would lie awake imagining the worst, the betrayal of friends, the collapse of Rome. Seneca, a Roman statesman and advisor to kings, envisioned shipwrecks, poverty, public disgrace. Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic teacher, reminded his students to picture their loved ones dying, their bodies failing, their fortunes disappearing. Why? Because when you prepare your mind for the harshest blows, they no longer take you by surprise. You've already faced them, in thought, with reason, with strength. Modern life hides us from discomfort. It tells us to manifest the best. But the Stoics knew, true resilience comes from imagining loss and practicing endurance. You don't do this to dwell in suffering. You do it to learn you can survive it, and often to realize that your worst fear might not be as devastating as you think. Let's do the practice together. Find a quiet space. Sit. Breathe. Now bring to mind one thing you're anxious about this week. It could be big or small. A job interview, a breakup, a difficult conversation, a health scare. Ask yourself, what's the worst-case scenario? Don't avoid it. Describe it in full detail. You lose your job. You get rejected. You fail the exam. You're alone. Now pause. Let your body feel it. Not to scare yourself, but to meet it fully. Now ask, if this happened, what would I do? Would you survive it? What steps would you take next? What strength would you call on? And if you could survive it, then why let it control you now? This is how you take the teeth out of fear. You walk toward the fire, and it gets smaller. Premeditatio Malorum works because it takes fear out of the shadows. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty, on the unknown. But once you name the fear, once you describe it clearly, its power fades. And more than that, it sharpens your gratitude. When you picture losing what you love, you value it more deeply. When you imagine failure, you fight harder to succeed. This practice isn't about obsessing over disaster. It's about building emotional armor. Not fantasy, not denial, but readiness, real, grounded strength. Start using this practice daily. Each morning, choose one fear. Visualize the worst. Prepare your response, and then move forward with calm. Write down what you imagined and what you would do. This is mental weightlifting. Do it consistently, and you'll grow stronger than your fears. Leave a comment below. What fear did you face? How did it change you? Share this video with someone living under the shadow of anxiety. And remember, you are not weak for being afraid. You are wise when you prepare.